Welcome to this video tutorial. So today I'm going to be doing an hands-on practice on how to set up Kubernetes. So we're actually going to be setting up full Kubernetes. I mean, that's Kubeadm. So basically, what you need to understand about Kubernetes is that there are like four different ways with which you can set up a Kubernetes. You can use a Minikube. Now, when you're setting up a Kubernetes with Minikube, what Minikube does, so Minikube is a lightweight version of Kubernetes. So what it does is that both your master nodes and your worker nodes are not separated. So they are both in one infrastructure. So that is one of the things about our Minikube. It's a lightweight version. You could use the online provider, which is play with k83.com. So you can use that. That one is good for you if you just want to practice. I think you have about 4 hours for every server that is given to you. So after 4 hours, you're going to lose it. So it's basically good for practicing. Then there is the third one, which is when you're using cloud providers Kubernetes. For instance, if you are using AWS EKS, which is Elastic Kubernetes Service. So what this does is that the cloud provider manages your master nodes. So all you need to do is to focus on your worker nodes. So that is the third one. Now, the fourth one, which is the focus of this video and which is very important for you as a Kubernetes administrator, or as a DevOps engineer, you need to understand how to set up your own Kubernetes from beginning. And if you want to do that, you're going to do what we call Kubeadm. So this video is basically going to teach you on how to set up a Kubeadm. What this means is that you are going to manage your own master nodes, you are going to have your own worker nodes, and you are going to be able to set each of these up separately and be able to know how they work hand in hand. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be setting up one master node with two worker nodes. Of course, you can have as many worker nodes as you want, but for this tutorial, I'm going to be setting up just two worker nodes. Now, because we need server to do this, so I'm going to be using AWS EC2 as my server. So I already set up my EC2 servers. I set up three EC2 servers, one for master node and the other two for worker nodes, which I'm going to show you now. So these three servers are going to be what I'm going to use to do the whole setup for you to be able to see. So I'm going to show you how that works now. So this is my so I already set this up, but let me just show you, the way it is on my AWS. So this is my AWS EC2. So like I said, I use EC2. So for my master node, I use T3 medium. For my worker nodes, I use T2 small for them. And the reason you're doing this is because when you are setting up Kubernetes, you need some basic requirement for your setup to be able to run properly. So, and if you are using this, be sure that this is a paid service, so you have to know how to um uh terminate the servers once you're done, so that your billings will not keep piling up. So I use this. So I set this up already, and I have SSH into it. So I'm not teaching on how to, this video is not concentrating on how to set up EC2. I have other videos that have explained on how to set up EC2 and that. So now so this is my, these are the server which I have set up. So as you can see, so let me SSH into it. So I'm using Windows PowerShell, as you can see. But if you're using like, you can use MacBook too and all of that. All I've done is just to SS into my server. So let me just clear. So this is my master node. Now this is my worker node. Let me just SSH into them. So, so this is my worker node 2, and this is my worker node. Okay, this is worker node 2. So this is supposed to be worker node 1. So I'm going to change the name to worker node 1. And then come back. All right. So we have our worker nodes. So this is my master node. This is worker node 1, and this is worker node 2. So that is good. So now we are going to start the whole process of setting up our Kubernetes. Now we have our servers. So the first thing we have to do is to do some update on the server, and which is the next thing I'm going to do. Now you should understand that by the time I was setting up my because if let me show you this in case you are going to be using AWS, you should understand that I have opened some ports here before for this setup. For instance, if you are so there are some ports you must open when you are setting up this for your Kubernetes to work properly. You have to open up your port 22. Of course, port 22 is for your SSH. Port 6443 is for your Kubernetes API server. These ports have to be open. Your port 2379 to 2380 have to be open too. This is for your etcd communication. Your port 10250 to 10255 have to be open to. This is for your kubelet API. And there's another port which is port 30,000 to port 32767. This is for your node port services. So these are like 5 ports. You have to open them in your security group if you are using AWS EC2 to practice this. So please take note. So now I have set up my after setting up my EC2, so the next thing now is to start the whole process of my. So I'm going to start with, so the first thing I'm going to be doing is, so whatever I'm doing here, I'll be explaining them to you. So the first thing I want to do here is to update and install the necessary dependencies. So I'll just copy the codes and paste them. So this is for the updates of the necessary dependencies. So this step is going to be done for the 3 servers. So I'm just going to paste this code here and then press enter, and I'm going to do that for this server too. Do that for here too. Okay, something is not right here. It seems these 2 servers are the same. If that is the case, then I need to remove one. So let me remove this. So that means, okay, for ease, let me SSH to my, okay. I'm going to go back to my, so I want to reconnect the port one, the node one server. I think I probably did the same thing for, so let me SSH to the node one server that I set up. So I think that was where the problem was. So I was, this is supposed to be for my node one, I believe. Yeah, this is node one. Right? So, all right. So this is node one, this is node two. Okay, this is node two. Okay, so let me do the same installation for node one. Let me clear. Right. So let me do the update for node one. Yeah. So, okay, master node is good. This is good too. Okay. So the next thing, just to confirm if the update was done properly, I can just repeat it. If it's done properly, it should be able to tell me this is a master node. So you should see this for every stage that is done. If it's done properly, all right, you can see no upgrade, nothing changes. That means this is already updated and this is upgraded already. For these two, yeah, it means everything is perfect. For this, I think this master node did not complete then. So it's still, the update is still in progress. So let's wait for it to be completed so that we are sure that the upgrade is done. I think this update is completed now. For instance, I can just try it again and let's see what it's going to give us. If it tells, okay, you can see. So this, so the three servers have been updated properly. So all the necessary installations for the servers to run are there. So the next thing now is for you to run this, there's something we call swap. So Kubernetes requires that you disable swap. So this is the code you are going to use to do that. So I'm just going to paste the code. Don't worry, I'm going to share a document for all of this code in the description of this video. So I'm going to disable swap for each of the servers. So all right. So I'm just going to repeat that. So you can see that I'm still repeating the same thing for both the worker nodes and the master node. Yeah, for the installation in the beginning of it, there are several things that you have to just do repeatedly for both. But when we get to a stage to change them, I will let you know. So the next thing now is to configure the kernel parameter for Kubernetes. So I'm just going to copy and paste the code with which you are going to do this. All these steps I'm following, there are steps needed for you to complete your installation. So let me start with node 2. Let me just paste. All right, so you do that for the 3 servers. Then for the master. All right, so I've done that. So the next thing now would be to all right, for the kernel, there's still another stage that I have not done for the kernel parameter configuration. So let me just complete that now. So I'm going to share the whole code so that you wouldn't have to worry. So all right, so yeah, so we should get this. So at this stage now, we have configured the kernel for the kernel parameter for the Kubernetes. So the next thing now is to install our runtime. So you have to install your container runtime, and so we are going to be using the container runtimes we are going to be using include container, Docker, and CRI-O. So we are going to use all of this. So we are going to start with the installation of container, and the simple way to install it is sudo apt install container. So I'm just going to paste the code. So okay, I'm starting with node 2. So sudo apt install container. So this will install container on the server. These processes are very, very necessary for you to complete your Kubeadm installation and setup. So, so while we wait for that, so the next step is so I've installed the container. So now I have to configure the container, and this is the code. As a code, I'm just going to uh, paste the code for the configuration. Let me just see. There's so so this code is for you to set up the container. So I'm going to okay, so I'm going to do that for all the servers. So the next one is this. So, so after this setup, you have to edit the container file, and this is the code we are going to use to do the editing. So we're going to do so so in the container file, there's something called config.toml. So we are going to edit it and set the system C group to true. And that is what we're trying to do right now. So this code will set that to true. Or I'm going to provide a file that with this all this code. So what this code is going to do is that it's going to open this file. It's going to open this file, which is the config file in the container, and it's going to set this to true. So that is what we are trying to do now. So I have done that to this. I have to do it for this too. Now, these steps are very, very important that you don't have to miss anyone. So after setting that to true, so the next thing is to restart our container. So I'm just going to paste the restart code. Of course, it's something you should know, sudo system ctl. So you restart the code. So you restart the container. So I've enabled and I've restarted it. So let me do that for all the servers too. This is node 2. This is so. All right. So after doing the restart, so we are now going to move to the. So now we are done with the installation of the container. So after the installation, we have to then now install Kubernetes components. So there are Kubernetes components that we need to install, and that is where we're moving to now. So we're going to add Kubernetes repository, which I'm going to provide the whole repository details. So I'll just copy the code and then paste it. All right. So I'm going to do that for the tree. All right. So this is the first step. So what we are trying to do at this stage is to install the Kubernetes component, which include Kubeadm, kubelet, kubectl. All these are important. So before you do the installation, that's why we have to open the Kubernetes repository, which is what we just added. So the next thing we are doing now is to start those installation. So I'm just going to install those three components I mentioned. Now I'm just going to drop a code that will install the three of them at the same time. So you can see I first did the sudo apt update, which is to do update, then sudo apt install. Yes. So what are we installing? Kubelet, kubeadm, kubectl. So of course sudo apt mark old and then the same three components. So I'm going to do this for the three servers. So these step-by-steps processes are very, very important. So after we're done with all of this installation, so the next thing we're going to be doing right now is to initialize the Kubernetes cluster, which we now, when we want to initialize the Kubernetes cluster, now this stage is very, very important for you to know. So everything we have done until this stage is for everything, both either you're setting up master node or you are setting up worker node. All the things we've done so far are for whatever node you are setting up. Now, the next thing I'm going to do right now is for master nodes alone. Please take note. So what at this point now we are moving to configuring the master nodes as master node. So what we have right now, they are still, any of them can still be master nodes, apart from the naming I have given them. The three servers are still working at the same thing. So whatever I'm going to do from this stage is what differentiates a master node from worker node. So whatever I'm trying to do from now on is going to be done on the master nodes alone. Please take note. So now let's set up the master node and configure it to be master node. So you have to run some commands. So I'm going to drop the code and I'm going to explain it. So this code, so you can see sudo kubeadm init pod network cider. So you can see this is where I set up the network for the whole configuration. So this is only done on your master nodes. So I'm setting up the network configuration. You can see the cider configuration. So let's wait. If you look at this now, when this is done, so there you can see, if you read all that is here, is all it's telling you is that you have to copy and paste, you have to copy and save the join uh credentials which you will need to for you to be able to join from the worker node. So you have to, you can see, you said then join. So read, if you follow this step one after the other, you'll be able to understand. But what I'm saying is that you can see this is what you're going to use by the time you want to join on the worker node. Kube join, this is the network, this is the port, and this is the token. So you have to copy and paste, copy and save this somewhere, because you are going to need it by the time we are trying to join from the worker node. So please take note of this and copy it. So what I'm going to do is to copy everything from here. So you are going to copy all of this. So just copy it and save it somewhere. This is how you are going to use it on your worker node. So it's very, very important. And let me let you understand that this is going to be unique for each setup you are setting up. So you cannot just copy this and use it. Yours might be very different from what you're seeing here. So you have to copy the one that is displayed on your screen. So I'm going to just copy this. Now, in case you are not able to copy this, or you could not find it, what you will do is to run this command on your master node, sudo kubeadm token create. So once you run this command, it's going to uh, print out this output for you so that you can always copy it again. So I'm not running the command, I'm just showing you this in case you actually forget or maybe you misplace it or something. So the next thing we want to do now is to configure the kubectl for the user we're using. So I'm just going to paste the command line in for doing that. So this stage is for the configuration. Don't forget, all of these are done on the master node, not on the worker nodes, please. So after the configuration, the next thing I'm doing is to deploy. Now, for this, I'm using Calico. So I don't know, you might be using different pod network, but for this example, I'm using Calico for my pod network. So I'm going to just paste the code from Calico pod network. So by the time I don't know, you should confirm, because by the time you'll be watching this video, the version might not be, the version I'm using here, for instance, is version 3.29.2. By the time you'll be watching this video, there might have been other versions available. So you can always go to Calico website to confirm the latest version. So let me just paste this. So after doing this, which is the deployment, so I've deployed my pod network now. So the next thing is I want to confirm if my nodes are ready. So how do you do that? Just run kubectl get nodes. So if I run kubectl get nodes on my master node, let me see what I'm going to see. So you can see my node is ready. You can see the master node, the status is ready. Of course, the role is control plane because this is the master node. This is what I'm saying. And of course, the age and the version. So right now I have set up my master node. So now I can join this from my worker node. So this master node is set up. So before you can be able to run your before you can be able to run your worker node with your master node, so your worker node has to join the master node, and that is the essence of what I was explaining the other time. So this is where you get to do so that same code we copy then is what you are now going to be using. So wherever you have it, so just go to your worker notes and paste the join command line. For me, this is it. So the moment once I do this, so I'm going to do it for each node. So I'm doing it for node 1 first. So what I'm doing here is I'm telling node 1 to join this master node. So all right. So I think there is an issue here. User is not running as root. Yeah, so I need to use sudo. So what I will do is I need to use sudo. So that I can have the privilege. So kubectl nodes control plane to, so it's joined. So how do I know if it is joined? So I will just come back here and get nodes again. So for every node that is joined to this master node, you should be able to see it on your master node. So you can see now, initially all I had was master node and all that. So now you can see that I have worker node 1, which is joined. Of course, it's not ready, so this might take a few seconds for it to be ready. So it is joined. So now I'm going to do the same thing for worker node 2. So don't forget to use sudo, except you are running from the root privilege. So I'm doing that for node 2 too. So let me run get. So as you can see, so all right, you can see now worker node 1 is ready. So worker node 2 is not ready yet, it's still coming out. So as you can see, so from what we have set up here right now, we have been able to set up the worker nodes to work with the master nodes. Now you can have as many worker nodes as possible. You can have as much as 20, 50, 100 worker nodes. And this is how Kubernetes works. So all the worker nodes, you'll be able to control them from this master node, which is your control plane, basically. So at this point, this is the whole scope of this video. I don't want to go further than this for this very video, but there will be subsequent videos where we will start dealing with some other important area of Kubernetes. But for this very video, this is my aim. The aim is just to show you how to connect these things and make them work together. As you can see, so we have everything connected right now. So thank you for your time. Thank you for staying true to this. So I would advise that you practice this, try it, and if you have any issues, you can drop your comment in the comment section so I can be able to see. My name is Damilari Odulesi. I'm a DevOps engineer. So I have other videos that are focused on several other areas, but this video is basically for you to know how to set up your Kubeadm. I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you and take good care of yourself.